Hello everybody, this is Kiran and today we are going to learn about the testing techniques which are use case testing and error guessing. So far we have seen equivalence partitioning and boundary value analysis. We also saw state transition diagram and decision table testing. So today we will be covering the remaining few testing techniques which are use case testing and error guessing. Now, we know that use cases is based on the actors on any system. So how an actor behaves on the system and their responses toward the system is measured in this kind of technique. Test cases are the interaction between the users and the software applications. Now, this kind of testing, use case testing, is helpful to identify the gaps in the software application that might not be found because of the normal way of testing the software components. So, how a user uses the system, we are actually focusing on that. And here A is the actor and S is the system. So, let's say a login page which you can see. So, if email and password is there, and if you enter the password, incorrect password 4 times, your system will be blocked or banned. Let's say this is a scenario. Now, step 1, what you do, you enter the agent name and the password, correct name, and S, the system will actually validate the password. So when you're entering the username and password, the system is validating the password. Now, it will allow you the account access if you're putting in the right password. Now, if the password is not valid, then it will show you an error message and it will give you a retry for 4 times. And if you are not filling in the password, it will close the application after the 4th time. So basically, how the actor is acting on the system and what is the output of that action is basically measured here in the use case testing. Now, consider the first step of an end-to-end scenario of a login functionality of our web application where the actor enters the email and password. In the next step, the system will validate the password. Now, if the password is correct, the access will be granted, and if the password is wrong more than 4 times, the system will ban that IP. And in between, there can be an extension of this use case. In case the password is not valid, the system will display a message in between if you are not exceeding the limit. So, it will display you a message. So, there are different outputs of different stages. An actor, how it is behaving on the system. So, a use case and a test case. So, let's consider a banking application. So, in a banking application, one can withdraw funds, one can find out the bank balance and or maybe transfer the money. So, there is one user and there are different actions of that user, right? So, how the user behaves on the system. So, use cases is prepared by the business analyst guy and the BA of the team, and test cases, of course, the testers are writing. So, there is a difference which we have mentioned here as the use case and test cases. So based on the test cases, use cases cannot be derived, but vice versa is possible. We have already seen that, like, what's the use cases are derived in scenarios and then test cases. Use case describes step-by-step instructions on how to use the functionality, and test cases verifies the functionalities. So whatever functionalities are mentioned in the use case, that is verified in the test cases. Use case cannot be executed means it is not, you are not running the use cases as such. It's just a use case, while test cases are written and then executed also. It is derived, use cases are derived from the business requirement specification BRD, and test cases are derived from the use cases. So that's the difference between use cases and test cases. The final test case technique is error guessing. Error guessing is a very easy testing technique wherein you, out of your experience of a particular domain, know where the error can occur, or you have an idea on experience of that particular software or the domain knowledge. Based on it, you can easily remember and know what errors have occurred in the past, or you already are aware about the error prone areas. So that's how you guess the errors and find out the errors. So a tester writes test cases to expose those errors. To design test cases based on this software testing technique, the analyst can use the past experiences for guessing the error. Now, guidelines for error guessing is the test should use the previous experience of testing similar application. The tester actually, whatever test cases we are writing, should be using the previous experiences, and one should also have a good understanding on the system, because if you are aware of about domain knowledge, you will be knowing some of the error prone areas. Knowledge of typical implementation errors. So whatever happens when you're actually implementing that software onto a particular device or environment or a particular operating system, there can be issues. So you must be knowing that this type of errors should usually occurs in a particular type of software. So that is something which you can imply. Then remember previously troubled areas. Of course, if you know the clustering of errors in previous software, similar software, you can use those experiences. And evaluate historical data and results it. Yes, it is very important. That's why we say that maintaining documentation is important, because if you have good documentation and you already have a history of similar project, you can use those old documentations and check that where similar kind of errors has occurred, and you can guess them. So that's about error guessing. So today we learned about use cases testing technique, and we compared use cases with test cases, and we knew that how actors react on the system and their actions and the results matter, and how we have to actually think as actors and then do the testing. We also learned about error guessing technique, which is based on the prior experiences of the testers doing the testing, and also using historical data for knowing the error prone areas. So that's all from the testing techniques. We'll learn further topics in the upcoming sessions. Thank you.